Back on level 25, the blinds are 30,000, 60,000 with an ante of 60,000. That's 30, 60, 60. I hope you have a great day today, players, dealers. Shuffle and deal, please.
Now, bless him, Toby's attention to detail, sometimes not all it should be. You might remember the infamous chop pot he missed during that platinum pass hand in Prague a couple of years back. The blinds are 25, 50, 50, not 30, 60.
There's a lot of stuff to remember when you're...
It was not all this should be. You might remember the infamous chop pot he missed. And he's been running this event brilliantly. And his work on the bubble yesterday was, as ever, a couple of immaculate. The blinds are 25, 50, 50, not 30, 60.
There's a lot of stuff to remember when you're...
It was not all this should be. You might remember the infamous chop pot he missed. Francesca Gunn did not go to bed until 4 a.m. because of last night's coverage. Of course, we have to consider the 5-hour time difference with the UK and the 6-hour time difference with Europe. You're going to be in this for the long haul today. Francesca Gunn did not go to bed until 4 a.m. because of last night's coverage.
Do you guys think word got back to Jake Schwartz that people were not enjoying his card calling, and maybe today he might tone that part down?
Maybe. And I know we've had some fun at Jake's expense, but as we said last night, Maria, I enjoyed his personality. I love the fact that he was chatting with Evan and with Felipe Oliveira. It was only those all-in situations where they were having this kind of like debate about what would be the most interesting sweat cards where it got a little bit tiresome. But as we said last night, Maria, I wasn't trying his personality. I was chatting.
I was with you in the party poker one? Yeah. So you are trying to revenge?
Are you trying to revenge? That sounds way more ominous.
Big pot. I'm trying. I bust you again.
Oh, fighting talk.
It's fair.
It's all good.
So Jack O'Neill from the UK has ace-8. Starts the day with around 2.5 million. He is the feature table chip leader. And he's going to open with a raise to 105,000.
And I think him being the chip leader at the table makes this open from under the gun +1 better with ace-8 offsuit. I think normally it's just a little too weak of an ace to open from early position. But with his chip stack, with the fact that there's a few shorter stacks that aren't really going to be able to 3-bet light off of their stack size, I think it's smart and perceptive of him to open a bit wider.
Well, everyone bar Jake Schwartz has folded. Jake's got Queen 9 in the big blind. He defends, and they will go heads up to the flop. Ten, 5 deuce with 2 clubs. Jake playing in flow. Is it my imagination, or are the Russians louder than usual today?
There were an awful lot of potatoes out at the one spread. They're probably all hopped up on starch. You know how they get.
They're just not used to this warm weather out here. It's making them do crazy things.
Continuation bet of 85,000 from O'Neill, a fold from Schwartz. So we've got the 2 feature tables. We've got cameras across all 5 tables remaining. So we'll bring you all the significant action, any big double ups, any eliminations.
I also didn't thought this.
A reminder that the shot clock was introduced yesterday once we made it into the money, and the shot clock will remain in use throughout the PSPC. Yes, Griffin was the champion of the first ever Shark Cage, winning $1 million. Also has a high roller title from EPT Berlin a few years back. Won the Irish Open a couple of years ago.
The $4 million hasn't changed him a bit, though. He still sits in general seating at the movies. I can't get him to spend an extra $150 on the big seats.
One day I will forgive Griffin for buying tickets to the 3D version of The Last Jedi. Dan O'Brien in action, opens in the hijack with ace-7 of spades. Talal folding the king-10. Ace-4 of diamonds for Jake, lets it go.
Seems a little bit tight to me.
Maria, he's dominated. I don't know if you can see the screen.
Okay, well then it's an amazing fold. 6 soul read.
Philippe with queen 9 in the big.
I went to elementary school with a Dominic Olivera. I wonder if they're related.
And that's a fold. Interestingly, Griffin Benja and Dan O'Brien have something in common. They're both poker players who I've worked with as co-commentators. Obviously, Griffin was a member of our broadcast team in the Bahamas last year. Dan O'Brien I worked with in Dublin, commenting on a single table tournament which Maria Ho played in, where people could bet on funky things that were going to happen while it was being played.
And I've also been to Dublin. What a small world. Griffin Benja and Dan O'Brien have another thing in common as well. They're both woke AF. Super woke dudes right there. Audience interaction, unlike at a comedy show, here on PokerStars TV is encouraged and appreciated. You can talk to us at twitch.tv/PokerStars or use the hashtag PokerStarsTV. Did we cover this tweet from Colin already? We haven't done tweets yet, have we?
No.
Colin says, can't wait for day 4, rooting for the platinum winners at the final table, but also hoping a wizard like Makita or Griffin crushes. And he's anti-sweating the fun guy who started the show 1 card and kept calling out cards during all-ins.
Not a huge fan of the whole anti-sweating thing, as we see an all-in and a call. Ace-Jack against Ace-Jack. Oliveira, the player at risk. There is a 9 out of 10 chance that this will end in a chop.
There's a 2 out of 100 chance that Talal Shakurchi crushes this guy's dreams.
We were doing it all day with Evan Mathis, and I guess I got shit for it.
Someone didn't like it?
I guess so.
Who didn't like it?
Yes, that would be her.
I got a lot of really
staff or players.
Just like people online.
Oh,
there it is.
Only action for me.
Roll City.
I should have said the 8%. An 8% chance. 8 out of 100 times. Oliveira shakes down Shakurchi.
Shocking news. Believe it or not.
Queen.
Red Queen.
Red Queen. Queen of Hearts. Just as good.
Only took a couple hands for the card calling to start, guys.
No diamond on the river, so this will be a chop pot. And you know what they say? Everyone loves a chop pot. To the outer tables, where Jackie Burkhart is all in and at risk against Kristen Bicknell. 6-5 against 8-9.
I hate day 4.
And we're already on the turn. Jackie with 2 pair.
I've still never used my 1 time. I'm saving it. I'm saving it.
And that 4 on the river gives Kristen Bicknell a straight.
Mother loving day 4.
Jackie Burkhart, who won her Platinum Pass in Maria Konakova's My Poker Story promotion, is out of the PSPC. Cashing for $86,400, mind you.
Hi. All right.
Can I come with you?
I'm with you, yeah. Smell, with your things, okay? Sorry?
I think I got all my junk.
Yeah.
Very sad to lose Jackie, and we've lost another player as well during the first few minutes of the day. From our secondary feature table, Jonathan West came into play with just 5 bigs, had to make something happen, didn't. Eliminated by Martins Adenaya.
He started super short today, right? He had like 5 big blinds.
Yeah.
Man, the Jackie Burkhardt thing. Frickin' day 4. See?
She was one of the people I was rooting for pretty hard. She just seemed like she had such a good time, and she seemed very pleasant to have at the table.
Right?
So we are down to 36 players here on day 4, aiming to get down to the final table. Picking up the action at the main feature table, Dan O'Brien opened under the gun. Griffin Benja defended his big blind. Check on the flop. Delayed c-bet from Dan on the turn. Both players with a pair of 8s. Griffin with the better kicker.
Pretty clear continue for Benja.
King on the river. Doesn't change anything. Griffin now has a lock on the hand.
Yeah, this guy that was sitting in between us all day, like, they were just calling for, we were all just calling for, like, the sweat
Action
cards and all.
boards.
Yeah, action boards and all in pots. And,
Check. Griffin takes it down.
And
Check your privilege.
He's just like he played in the NFL. He was like on the offensive line.
All in and a call at the secondary feature table. It's Marvin Rettenmeyer at risk with ace-9 against Ruiz Sousa with 10s. Marvin needs to hit to survive. Ace on the flop.
He hits.
Turn card. It's the king of spades. I've been saying, don't get me dirty.
Get him clean.
2 pair on the river, and Marvin Rettenmeyer doubles up through Ruiz Sousa.
Marvin. That's how we're doing it. 580.
So far, in the first 13 minutes of play, 2 eliminations, 1 double up. Oh, and a chop pot on the main stage.
Still day 4. Don't try to distract me with chop pots and Marvin Rettenmeyer doubling up. It's just a tease for later when day 4 sticks it up my...
We're very sad to have lost Jackie. So with her elimination, by my calculations, 8 Platinum Pass winners remain.
What's 36 divided by 8? What is that? 5?
Try again.
4?
Closer to
4-ish?
4.5? Exactly. 4.5, but yes.
So that means mathematically 4.5 Platinum Pass winners will make it to the final table?
Yes.
Yes, Joe. Got it. If it makes you happy, yes.
I need PP at the final table.
Griffin Benja on the button with King Jack. Do you think Griffin's a bit salty because now he's at the feature table, he can't watch his cartoons on his iPad?
When you said, you just started with, you think Griffin's a little salty, and I just immediately was going to, yeah. Didn't even need to hear the reason. That's right, Griffin. No anime for the whole day.
So he's been called by Marc Perot in the big blind. Canada v Canada. And it was Domination Nation. It's now Domination Rotation as Perot pairs his 7.
Checkity check. Hey. Domination, rotation, reversation.
Love it. Should point out that Perot has picked up a diamond draw to go with his pair of 7s.
That's right, Quack2Quack on Twitch. Pass holes. I need some pass holes at the final table. Let's do it.
Let's not make that a thing. Four of Hearts completes the board. 295,000 in the middle. Is Perot going to try and get to cheap showdown?
I think so. I think with this run out and with Benger checking the turn instead of taking a delayed C-bet line, I think it looks like Benger does have showdown value.
And check already.
Question is whether Griffin goes for value now. Didn't continue flop, as you observed, Maria. Did not make that delayed C-bet on the turn.
130?
Yes. 130,000.
I think he definitely doesn't expect Perot to check something like a flush on the river again. So this value bet is good. It's going to get some calls from, you know, an 8 on the flop, and the only thing is if he had like a weak queen in this spot, considering he did defend from the big blind, he might still check the river.
Question now is whether Perot calls with a pair of 7s. A reminder that if his clock hits 0, he'll then have to play time bank cards to increase his thinking time. He's decided to fold, and Griffin wins another pot. Question from Peter Jones, hashtag PokerStarsTV. Any update on the whereabouts of the red heart that Jennifer Carter knitted? Keep up the great work. Thank you, Peter. I believe that Martins Adenaya has the knitted heart.
That's the last I saw it.
I mean, mostly like,
do they both have it, or
the competitive scene? There was no land cheating, like.
Yeah, because
so
it
was only really online, but it wasn't super common, to be honest.
Okay, and you could beat the guys that cheated?
To be honest with you, I mean, I was so good at Counter-Strike, everyone just thought I was cheating. I mean, they before we got to like LAN tournaments and stuff, like everyone just thought we were cheaters, and then we got there and we weren't cheating.
If they weren't playing on land before, what were they at? Like out in international waters?
And how do people cheat?
There could be like scripts and stuff that make it so you can see through walls. That was the most common one, which obviously made you good.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have let Kara near his computer.
Yeah.
So Schwartz has opened under the gun. Oliveira's moved all in.
Pretty good.
How much is it?
7 something.
Pretty big hands all around, and I'm sure we're going to see Schwartz and Benger get this in as well. Schwartz has just under 30 big blinds, so I don't think he's going to fold ace-king suited.
So we're going to have a disgusting flip between two very likable characters. Thanks a lot, Day 4.
All in.
There's the reshove from Griffin.
Shouldn't have asked you that.
And now action back on Schwartz. It is all in to call. Oliveira can't do anything but wait to see how this hand plays out.
I mean, Schwartz can't love this spot, but ace-king suited is just too good to fold, especially considering the stack that Oliveira shoved against his open. If Oliveira
if I
had
ask how many chips he has, does it pause the clock? Yeah, I want to ask. Sorry, Griff.
He's been here before.
if Oliveira had a lot more in this spot, then it actually makes his hand stronger.
Well, Schwartz is going to realize very quickly that it's all into call. That the
It's over 2 million.
Yeah, it's more than you have.
Yeah, but how much?
I fold.
Schwartz folds the ace king.
Wow.
They're just tens, man. Stop wasting your stuff. Check.
You can call for the sweat board?
Huh?
Or you don't mind?
Whatever you want, man.
What's the sweat board?
Against a shove and a reshove,
10-9-8.
he ditches ace king.
River anyway.
So Oliveira is the player at risk here and only has one live card, and we have seen an ace folded.
Like Counter-Strike versus Flappy Bird.
I will have to say, though, I think you folded one of your outs.
One of these two hands has an extreme advantage.
Or two.
Maybe you folded 2 jacks.
Oh, ace high flop.
So sick.
Wow, ace king in the muck.
Eight is good.
Eight is the best card for our game.
The game continues. Turn card is a 10. So we're in a situation where Filipe Oliveira just has to fade a queen on the river to survive. 2 outs for Griffin Benja. So Oliveira gets the double up.
I don't have it anymore.
And Griffin drops down below the 25 big blind mark.
Well done, Griffin, for losing a flip and having a smile on his face. I mean, it's quickly faded, but the immediate reaction was smile. Or maybe it was a grimace.
Meanwhile, Jake Schwartz
How did you fold?
would have eliminated Oliveira and won a huge pot.
One of my outs?
No, one of his outs.
I mean, he would have done
Ace queen.
much more damage to Griffin.
Ace queen?
No, you said not one of my outs.
No, one of yours. Okay. I don't know. You didn't fold ace king. And I don't.
You definitely did.
In a way, that's why Griffin should be looking at that as a mini victory.
Yeah, I would have happily folded this check.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got action on one of the outer tables. Tony Gregg, a player with a lot of deep runs here in the Bahamas, is all in and at risk with 7s against Louis Vuitton's ace king. Classic race underway. And Tony needs those 7s to hold to survive.
Listen, I haven't seen Tony Gregg at a live tournament in a while.
Oh, ace on the flop.
You guys managed to get him out here for the PSPC. Lots of players out of retirement from the live scene.
I mean, he crushes here also. Made the final table of the PCA main event 3 times.
Well, he's going to need to see a 7 on the turn or river. What is it always coming?
It is always coming 7. When we are doing the flipping games, the 7 is always coming.
Not this time. And Tony Gregg is eliminated in 36th place, taking us down to 35 players in the PSPC. So we saw Filipe Oliveira more than double up through Griffin Benja. He's opened under the gun and been called by 2 players, Perot and Schwartz. And on this flop, Oliveira will continue for 190,000. And the other 2 players fold.
Good one to see. Thanks.
So a little bit of change in the chip counts over the first few hands of the day. Oliveira on the ascent up to 36 big blinds. Benja on the descent, playing 24 bigs right now. Talal Shakurchi is the low man at the table with 22 big blinds. Hexius Maximus says, wait, the commentators are reading chat? Where's that guy who's built like a fridge from yesterday? Anyone know if he's out? Evan Mathis, former NFL player, won a Super Bowl ring with the Denver Broncos at Super Bowl 50. He is still in. He's at one of our outer tables. I'm sure we'll see him soon.
Except the fridge is already taken as a football nickname.
So Dan O'Brien has opened from the hijack with ace-queen. Jake Schwartz with ace-king in the small. I don't think he's folding it this time, Maria.
I don't either. I think it's all going to go in pre-flop, and it's obviously a little bit of a different spot this time than it was in that previous hand, but
ooh, this complicates things.
It always does.
Felipe Oliveira has pocket jacks in the big blind.
I think
this might be good news for Dan.
Yes, it's going to be good news for Dan because I think Oliveira is going to isolate here. Chip over Schwartz's 3-bet all in.
All in.
The reshove from Oliveira saves Dan O'Brien a lot of chips. Quick fold, and here we go. We're off to the races again. Flipping a coin, and Schwartz needs ace-king to hit. He's the player at risk.
You guys got to do your thing now. Yeah, you got all in.
Don't get quiet.
No. Queen 10-9, all spades.
All right.
Queen 10-9.
No, Queen 10.
So kings don't go out. Queen 10-9, all spades.
Queen 10-9, all spades. That way, if I hit the jack on the turn, you still are alive.
Yeah. And if you hit the king, you have a straight.
No, guys, I have a bit I want to do here.
King, Queen 10, all outs.
Okay, yeah, same thing though. Basically, just the opposite. You just want to hit. You'd rather hit than hold. Yeah, it's way more fun to hit than hold.
I will say that they get the pass because they're both involved in this hand, and it is Jake Schwartz tournament life on the line.
Well, there is the ace on the flop, an ace and a queen, which is a little bit of a sting to Dan O'Brien.
Even if the jack comes, you still got out.
Yeah.
So.
King, Jack, or 10.
How about a 3?
Good job.
That was the turn for the first half of the day yesterday.
Schwartz just has to fade a jack on the river to survive. The river is a 9. Schwartz doubles up, so again we see a big change in the standings. He's now the table chip leader with more than 50 big blinds, and Felipe Oliveira is now playing a 13 big blind stack.
Maria, I know as a professional poker player, you have to pretend like folding ace-queen there was the right play, and you don't really care that it came ace-queen on the flop. But do you care a little when that happens? Be honest. Does Dan O'Brien care right now?
Very, very little, but it lasts for one hand, and he'll be over it.
So do I.
Yeah. I have less.
Well, to the person who was asking about Evan Mathis, here he is, and he is all in and at risk with ace-jack against queen 8, and there is an 8 on the flop. Yanis Leperis is his opponent in this hand. Leperis has taken the lead, and Evan Mathis is going to need some help on the river. No. Evan Mathis departs. Out in 35th place.
I hate you, day 4. Oh, I hate you. I hate day 4.
He started the day relatively short. He had fewer than 20 big blinds. Got it in good. Can't really ask more than that. And his opponent pretty much dominated, but as things stand, we are down to 34, still playing out $86,400 for every elimination. Back to the feature table where Marc Perot has raised to 105,000 and been called by Jack O'Neill in the big blind. Queen at 6-5 on the flop. King high still ahead. So a half an hour into the day, we've seen 4 eliminations, and we've lost the former NFL star and one of our Platinum Pass winners, Jackie Burkhart.
Pro up to 300, excuse me, up to 1.8 million. Sounds like a lot. 36 big blinds. Oh, awkward stack.
Sure.
Talasha Kirchi in the hijack. Jack 10 of hearts. Coming in for a raise, 110,000. Rivera ace 9 off on the button.
And sometimes off of about a 20 big blind stack or so, 20 to 25, I would say, you'll see some players limp with hands like Broadways that may not be suited, sometimes suited, because if they limp and they get raised, then off their stack size, they can still call that 3 or 4 big blinds to see a flop with a hand that flops really well.
Can't count that. You have like 1.25, something like that?
A bit less than that.
Yeah, 1.18.
1.1 something.
Whereas if you open and then you get someone 3-betting you, then you can't really continue.
Flush draw for Talal Shikirchi.
I think Griffin knows that Shikirchi would not likely bet this type of flop without having some equity. It's never really going to be just some random ace high C bet, I don't think.
Yeah.
So because of that, Bender's going to tread a bit lightly with his middle pair.
Our 50K one-day event is about to start. We kindly ask all registered players, please make your way to the tournament area. 50K is about to start.
I'm going to say it's great to have Big Nick back with us at our live events. Yeah. I've missed that guy.
Cool dude, Big Nick.
So the board bricks out for Talal.
And Griffin's got to be pretty okay with this run out, given the way the action's gone. If he checks here, maybe tries to catch a small bluff.
I'm not sure that's the run out that you do bluff at, though, considering your opponent called from the big blind. So, yeah, I do think that a value bet, especially with those misdraws, would probably likely get paid off more often than checking would induce a bluff.
Okay. It would be more fun if it was an aperture.
Griffin Benja back up to around 30 big blinds.
Yeah. I prefer will be more fun.
Well, 2 players with sub-20 big blind stacks on the main stage, Talal Shikirchi and Philippe Oliveira.
You guys play Matrix.
Meanwhile, we're heading to the outer tables once again. There's another all-in and call. Farid Jatin at risk with pocket 9s. Mikita Bodjakovsky with ace-queen. Flip the coin one more time.
Again?
Jatin the player with the pocket pair and Jatin the player at risk.
Like grouper versus snapper. One of these two hands has a slight mathematical advantage. I go for the grouper usually when I'm in the Bahamas, Maria.
I haven't had the grouper here, but it's really fresh and local, right?
Correct.
So, grouper it is.
Well, that is a queen high flop. Bodjakovsky takes the lead. Jatin needs a 9. And hits it on the turn.
Wow.
And that will see Farid Jatin double up through Mikita Bodjakovsky. And the stacks are pretty even. I don't think Bodjakovsky's going to be left with much.
Speaking of weird psychological things poker players does to themselves, it's, you know, a pure flip, but then once you hit your queen on the flop and then your opponent hits
the
9 on the turn, then all of a sudden in your mind you're like, oh, how annoying.
So back to the secondary feature table, where Ruiz Sousa is all in. It's been called by one of our Platinum Pass winners, Pedro Padilla. Well, it's looking good for Sousa. Just has to fade an ace, king, or 10 on the river. And the river card is an ace. Padilla gets there, and Ruiz Sousa is busto.
Nope, can't do it. Got no singing voice today, guys. You're lucky.
Sorry.
I was going to do Stars and Stripes forever, but... So long, Sousa.
And heading back to the outer table, where we just saw Farid Jatin's double up, we said that Bodjakovsky wasn't left with much. He's all in now. And he's all out. Ace-10 against Ace-7, but Marc Rivera hit a 7 on the turn. And just like that, we're down to 32 players. We're down to 4 tables. And we've hit a money bubble.
Wow.
So the next player to go out in 32nd place will still receive $86,400. Let's just check on what that money jump is going to be for whoever goes out in 31st and whether that plays into anyone's minds. Payout to the bottom of your screen right now.
Bodjakovsky being out, Joe, might be the biggest name going in the graveyard today.
Yeah, I know. Although...
in terms of sick pros.
Right, it's a mixed bag, though. Now, I don't like losing the Platinum Pass.
So it's $105,000. So the next player out will be the last player to leave without a 6-figure score.
I don't like seeing the Platinum Pass winners go, but Mikita Bodjakovsky is not the token, not the traditional Platinum Pass winner.
Right.
Not the amateur that I'm rooting for at the final table.
I'm calling it, Joe. It's only, well, we're 40 minutes into the day, and I think we've already had tweet of the day from the Texas Music. My cat is fixated on the PSPC.
That's a cute cat. Cat got back. Looks like Jake Schwartz bet the flop, got raised by Dan O'Brien. Jake calls, turns a ton more equity than he already had. He's got 2 overs, got shot straight draw, flush draw. went check, and now...
Well, I was going to say, he gets her on the river, but Dan doesn't have anything. The problem here is that Dan is going to try and bluff the river and get snap called.
Yeah, it should.
Dan O'Brien not leaving himself many chips.
Yeah, that was a chunky bet on the river. 430,000, leaving Dan with 665,000. He is dropped below the 15 big blind mark.
I think Elron Steele is right with his tweet here. It says, day 4 is a day at the races. Jake Schwartz, fun fact, he has a single first place in his 7-year career, the 1K Hard Rock Poker Open. That must be where I know him from Florida.
$2 million in total live earnings.
BJ's with me, tweets at us using the hashtag PokerStarsTV. Joe, I understand your melancholia. I have grown attached to many of these players as well. Hashtag bring back sad violin.
Although normally, by the time we got to this stage, we stopped using the sad violin effect because it just didn't feel appropriate, because it was a little bit tongue-in-cheek and it meant so much to the players at this stage that it was kind of like,
sometimes I feel like I probably pressed it a little too often, but sometimes it was pretty good.
Oliveira has ace deuce of clubs in the hijack.
I think this is a hand, if it's unopened to you with 13 big blinds, you should definitely put the chips in the middle. With that type of stack, you can't afford to wait much longer, and it's tough to find spots where it's an unopened pot to you.
Here we go again.
What you got, Griffin? Seemingly a decision.
105.
Now, have we got this right? Has Oliveira really raised to 550k, leaving himself 105k behind?
Yeah, I think it's an obvious commitment to the pot, but maybe potentially he doesn't realize that.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, well, they are on the stone bubble of the pay jump, right? So
yeah,
that makes sense.
We will. Thank you. That's right. Do you play?
Essentially, when someone if somebody puts you all in this spot, you could actually use your time banks and then wait to call off the rest of your chips and hope that by that time a hand has happened on another table that would give you the pay jump if you were to bust.
Dan. Dan.
Dan.
Dan.
Hey, Dan.
Dan.
Dan. Hold on. Hey, Dan. There it is. We got it.
Oh yeah, show the ace deuce like a boss.
I like you, Felipe. We're going to be friends after this.
What happened there? Did he show?
Deuce of clubs.
I'm here to make friends.
Me too.
I love it.
Thanks, Luke.
15 minutes left on the first level of the day.
Hello.
We'll roll straight into level 26.
I know.
Take a break every 2 levels in the PSPC, a 60-minute clock throughout.
Another fun tweet from Ruthless, Adam Levy.
How's everyone doing?
Took second in the 109 PokerStars Mini Super Tuesday for 13K last night. Only reason I grinded online was because of making day 3 and that mini PSPC. He missed my show, but he made 13 grand. What was it, 18? Well, first place was 18. Accidental needle.
Oh, sorry.
Because it's without them on it. $8-5 for Oliveira.
correct. This is not an exit. Not even an hour in, and the partridge quotes are out. Francesco has a question. Hey Maria, my last name is also Ho. Are we related though?
I feel like with how many of us there are in this world, chances are.
Probably.
Exactly.
A new player to the table, sandwiched between Dan O'Brien and Marc Perot.
You still got any sweats other than yourself?
Meanwhile, Talal Shikirchi verbally declares all in.
Another Portuguese, Luis Souza.
That's one man who doesn't care that much about the pay jump. He didn't need to make it 820,000
really well, like
and then wait to put the 15,000 in.
In Bahamas? Yeah,
so it's Luigi Noppers who's just taken a seat on the main stage.
I mean, here.
With us breaking a table, we're now balanced again. 4 tables of 8. Luigi brings 2.2 million chips to the table.
But almost everybody cashed. Like only.
All right, so I got something fun I want to do for my babies on Twitch.
You're gonna have to pay out.
The next time somebody gets 3 outed or worse, okay? The next time somebody gets 3 outed or worse, we're going to gift 100 subscriptions to the PokerStars channel on Twitch.
So you are basically inducing chat to call for bad beats?
Correct.
Wow.
It's all in the master plan of him wanting the day to end earlier.
So hang on to your potatoes, Twitch chat. 100 subs potentially coming your way. Hey,
It's just like there's a body there.
if things happen the way they're supposed to, you're never going to get them. But if you root hard enough for a bad beat, 100 free subs.
By the way, Maria, I came in today and the cash tables, as you know, run all day long. And at the 2-5 PLO table, it was full, bar 2 seats, which were reserved for John and Richard. We're still waiting for them to show up.
All right, calm down, you jackals.
So just to be clear, 3 outs or fewer?
Right, like a worse, a 3-outer or worse. But when the money goes in. So it doesn't matter if it goes in on the flop or the turn of the river, but it's not one of those like we just saw, Maria, where it's a race and then the 2-outer comes.
Right.
It has to be on the river.
No.
No?
No, just like a 3-outer hand beating a better hand.
Okay.
Schwartz is certainly going to 3-bet this, although he's played ace-king at least once, somewhat less aggressively than one would expect.
$425? Correct. A 3-bet from Schwartz. And I imagine Queen 8 will go in the muck. Not really deep enough to be calling 3-bets even in position.
This tweet just came in as one of the stupidest questions anyone's ever asked.
I thought there were no
saying a lot. Oh my God. I can't tell if I'm being trolled or not. That's why I'm not reading it. You think it's a troll? Okay.
First 6-figure cash.
Well done, because you made me laugh.
I guess I just have lower expectations for the general public than James does, because I thought he was being serious. I'm like, no.
The name's kind of a giveaway.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, Six-Figure Club.
Now I feel like they're going to want us to read it, but...
25K.
You can follow along with the hashtag PokerStarsTV.
If you can pick which question is the stupidest question we're referring to, free sub. Am I allowed to
Yeah, sure.
make my own giveaway?
Well, no, because it's going to be hard to judge that. Just one.
Well, I want to give out at least one free
We
subscription.
can figure out a mechanic to give away a sub. We can do that. It's hard to do it anything other than randomly on Twitch is the thing.
Robert Eskin says Stapes is the Dole Brunson of commentators. Oh, come on, Robert, he's not that old. 43 is still a young man.
And of course, Pete Blow is in with, not sure if this is a compliment or not.
Balance. Get 2 over.
Well, if you follow both me and Doyle on Twitter, you know we are pretty much identical in our belief systems.
My good friend, some of you guys might know him, Christian Harder, says, be nice to Jake. Well, listen, you know I like Jake personally.
I like Jake too.
But the card calling,
Last hand, a little bit short stack, so looking to make a move. Didn't really have a lot of get through a lot of orbits. The chip leader in position 1 raised pre-flop, so I shoved. Probably an easy call for him, thinking he's got 2 live cards and not much more to knock me out. And then Queen 8 versus Ace Jack, and he hits an 8 on the flop and runs it out. You want to get over it fast. Sit here and I don't want to sit here and think about what could have been. Throughout the course of a tournament, those hands, they go your way or they don't go your way, and you can't expect to win every time you're the favorite. So it is what it is. Yeah, I'm going to. And this is a very nice place to have some free time, so I'm going to go hang out here, support my buddy Jason, who's still in the tournament, and now I can turn it into a vacation.
Evan Mathis recently departed from the PSPC. Great to have him here in the Bahamas. Meanwhile, we come back to the main stage to find Talal Shakurchi all in with kings.
Yeah, that's about right. I call.
Called by Luigi.
no folding ace queen suited to sub 20 bigs.
Good luck. Thank you.
So like in this spot, him hitting an ace would be the 3-outer.
Guys, if Knoppers wins this hand, we're gonna give away 100 subs on Twitch. There's a queen. There's a queen. 3 more outs now than before.
Yeah, but how does this work now? Because he's got 5 outs. It's not a 3-outer. It would have. The rules are very unclear.
Okay, maybe we'll get some clarification after this hand.
Hopefully it doesn't hit, and we'll re.
Talal has to fade an ace or a queen on the river to get the double up, which he does.
Okay. All right. Let's modify it. Because I like what James is trying to add here. The outs on the screen have to be 3 or fewer.
Correct.
I like it. So when it goes up to 5 outs, no good.
So we are going to the outer tables where Laurinus Levinskas is all in. All in with Ace Jack against Farid Jatin's aces. It's not looking good for Levinskas. 10-7 deuce on the flop. There's a strong chance Levinskas is going to be drawing dead on the turn. He's out.
Unbelievable. He's my 4th favorite Lithuanian player.
So with Levinskas exiting in 32nd place, everyone remaining in the PSPC is guaranteed a 6-figure or greater score. $105,000 is the next payout, with 31 players now remaining.
I think this is one of those close spots. I think cutoff versus button, clear ship, slightly dependent on how often and how high of a frequency Shakurchi is raising. If you believe that he opens wider than he should. Yeah, I think it could have gone both ways, but I think cutoff versus button with 3s there, you have fold equity still against basically just over min raise. So yeah, it's not an easy decision.
So just to be clear, the guy we talked about at the start of the day, Platinum Pass winner Michael Robionek, who was desperate to lock up a min cash to the point that he nearly folded aces pre before we were even close to the bubble. He is still in and guaranteed more than 100 grand now. Meanwhile, we're going to follow the action at our secondary feature table.
That was awesome. Did we pierce the hole in the space-time continuum? You know what we cause now is there's a bunch of people guessing at what's the stupidest question that's been asked, and so many people are wrong. So everyone's just like insulting everyone else's questions now.
I don't know. I don't know if you started that or I started that, but there's no giveaways, guys. There's nothing that you can gain from trying to guess it. We'll just give it up.
Everyone's like, surely this is the dumbest question that's ever been asked.
Button raised from Jack O'Neill with Jack 10. Griffin folds Jack Deuce. Dan O'Brien in the big with King 3. Dan is the table short stack with 11 bigs.
Ace high flop.
Yeah, and O'Neill has paired his 10. It's an 86% favorite. O'Brien checks.
Yeah. Trying to get some jewel in here. The jewel coin. No, he didn't bait me out.
Oh, what's this question? What if it's decided before the flop and you need to hit a net? Crucially, the graphic at the top of the screen has to be no more than 3 outs at the point that the player hits. That's it. That's the only rule.
What if the player hits but then ends up losing the hand on a redraw, which has more than 3 outs?
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to do it on the river. That way it's simple. There can be no... Wasn't my idea, by the way. You have to take ownership of this.
Well, I've never given away Twitch subscriptions before, James. I'm trying to work things out. We're live.
And then Jack.
It didn't come up in the production meeting. I wasn't paying attention to the production meeting anyway. I was on my phone the whole time. It may have come up in the production meeting. I don't know. I'm assuming it did, but it could have.
Yo, Hartigan, where do we tweet in? If you use the hashtag PokerStarsTV, your tweet will appear in front of us, and we may or may not read it.
If it's stupid, we probably won't read it.
New line now the Players Championship. 30,000, 60,000, 60,000.
How much you play again?
125.
In terms of redraws, by the way, when we get down to 3 tables, when we get down to 24, there will be a redraw. Again, when we get down to 16, and the final redraw will be when we get down to 9.
Actions folded around to Dan O'Brien in the SB. Nor managed to do jokes last night about the small blind and big blind that he like wrote on the spot. Whoa, all in for Dan?
He knows that's a ship there with his stack.
And gets a fold from 4 high. And he just some like jokes he came up with like that day, like poker jokes, and everybody loved it. Not as much as they love a chop pot, but everybody loved it.
So level 26 underway now. Blinds are 30,000, 60,000 with a 60k ante. Average stack is 1.6 million with 31 players remaining.
Welcome. That's tough. You're at least suited.
Quick.
Is he doing
Is he doing a bad job?
The Big Daddy fold.
Which suit? Diamonds.
Oh, Jake.
So we're currently playing a 27 big blind average, which is significantly shallower than you would expect.
Scotty Bonds asks, what's on the docket for the rest of the day after we reach a final table in the Bahamas? Buddy, I don't think we'll be reaching the final table in the day at all.
So the current plan, by the way, is to get down to the final 8. So the official final table of this event is the final 8 players, even though we have a redraw for the final 9. If we were, and it's highly unlikely, if we were to hit 8 players at, say, 6 p.m., we'd probably play on and play down to 6.
Yeah.
But I think, realistically, we'll be hitting 8 players at the same time that we kind of finished last night.
That would be my guess, too. A little bit later than 10 p.m. I'd say after 10 p.m. Dan O'Brien all in once again, shoving into 8 high and better than 8 high. Ace 10 of hearts. So Dan with the potential to hit a 3-outer.
Help me, Jake. What's a fun one?
You can root for Dan O'Brien and root for 100 free subs on Twitch.
I don't know why I don't know why not 3 clubs, but
Club on the turn for 50.
no.
Dan O'Brien just gained like 15,000 new fans, very temporarily.
Come on, get calling for the 6.
Dan.
Way to ruin our game.
Might have been the side.
Okay, now you're going to need running cards.
Queen.
With his top pair from the flop. And I don't mind that check back from Stewart on the turn either, just because if you have a middling club, then your check back protects your check back range.
Must drink blue ribbon. To the outer tables, where one of our Platinum Pass winners, Atanas Pavlov, is all in and at risk with jacks against Farid Jatin's ace queen. We're off to the races, and it's a queen high flop. Okay, here's a situation where Pavlov has 2 outs.
No, but the money's already in.
If we can save a platinum pass winner, I will allow it. Can he hit a jack on the river? No, it's a 10. And we lose another qualifier. Pavlov out in 30th place, and Farid Jatin has just moved over the 5 million mark. Pavlov cashes for $105,000, and we believe that Jatin has close to 5.5 million chips now. He is the chip leader during the first session of day 4 of the PSPC. Ooh, Robionek in action, raising from the hijack with ace-king. This guy does not play many hands. He almost folded aces yesterday.
You can't spell Robionek without I broke.
And I don't know whether you read the update on the blog, Joe, but he actually said that he was on the verge of folding and then realized, hang on a sec, if I fold aces, what the hell am I doing here?
It's weird that he even had to have that thought.
Oh, there's been a 3-bet from Marvin Rettenmeyer.
It appears that Marvin must have read the blog.
I mean, it's entirely possible. Or he could just be picking up on it, you know, on table dynamic.
But this is obviously a very different scenario.
Well, he's already cashed for $105,000 now. That's one aspect.
I raise all in.
In your face, Mad Marvin.
More like slightly annoyed at his own 3-bet Marvin.
Robionek hovering around the 1.5 million mark. Average stack right now is 2.1 million. And yeah, you can read about Robionek on the PokerStars blog. The guys have provided his background story. He is one of our Platinum Pass winners, courtesy of a free roll, the human lie detector competition run on social media. His hobbies include mountain biking, but this guy is unemployed. He's not had a job for 2 years. And just to remind you, when he won that Platinum Pass, he used the money that he was meant to spend on his travel and had to borrow money from friends to make it here to the Bahamas to play and hopefully secure at least a min cash. Now he's guaranteed more than 100K. Adrian Akabe is another Platinum Pass winner. He's opened with Ace-Jack under the gun +1.
All right, 2K, 1B, line 0, 1, 2, 200 Annie. 1, 2, 200 Annie.
Hello. Echo.
Why do people say echo? I hate that.
It's an airplane reference.
I get it, but like everyone, whenever there is an echo, people say the word echo.
Scott Baumstein with Ace-5. Defends his big blind.
Is DJ Squiggles press some buttons back there again?
Look at this, domination, rotation. Akabe continuing. Into a pot of 330,000. He bets 135,000.
Sometimes I wouldn't mind seeing a check back in Akabe's spot with ace-jack of clubs. But if I were to continuation bet, I would actually bet a little bit on the smaller side. I think it achieves kind of the same thing whether you bet a fourth pot even or a third pot, but this is just a little too big.
Scott calls. 7 of clubs on the turn.
It's just the kind of board that, especially now on the turn, favors the big blind range so much more.
And with Helmstein leading the turn, he gets a fold. Chips up to 3.75 million. He was the start of day chip leader, but the current chip leader is Farid Jatin with around 5.5 million.
In the box, or show it to the camera? Just in the box?
Back at the main stage, Griffin Benja has raised the button.
Huh? 860.
130,000. And this looks like a 3-bet. Could be an all-in from Luigi Noppers in the small blind, which gets a fold from Benja.
I know, Griffin, it's frustrating to open and get shoved on when you can't call.
Griffin is the second shortest stack at the table, has 17 big blinds. Felipe Oliveira is the low man with 14 bigs. Jake Schwartz, the current table chip leader, with 3.4 million, which equates to 57 big blinds.
Kind of muttering to himself, I mean, we get it, Griffin. You don't want to be in here with us. You've managed to duck us for 4 days already.
1.9.
$200.
Marc Perot raising small to big.
And I think with the effective stack size being 30 big blinds, which is what Shakurchi has, you'll see a hand like Ace-8 from the small blind sometimes limp in versus opening. I think it might be a slightly better open if Shakurchi was a bit shorter.
You are French Canadian or just Canadian? French Canadian. You guys are cool. That's why I have that weird accent. You're okay. I like the French Canadians. Thank you.
French Canadians aren't cooler than just straight up Canadians. Are they? Confused.
I play spike ball.
It's a race.
Yeah.
Spike ball a lot.
Yeah, that game was fun.
Very good game. Yeah, that game
Okay, registration has just opened for the PokerStars TV free roll, which starts at 2:20 local time. That's 8:20 p.m. Central European time. Search Dream Ticket in the lobby on Stars and register using the password Professional.
I like it better on sand, but my friends like it better on grass.
Professional is the password for today's free roll.
No women, no kids.
Grass, right? It's just like.
I always forget the movie was retitled for the American market.
I think the
beach vibe. It's just the beach vibe.
Yeah. You can just jump in the sand and stuff. But I think the tournaments, they play on the grass.
Yeah. Tournaments are better for grass.
Raise and take it for Oliver.
Phil? Do you play with Phil?
It was usually me, Phil, and Emma. And
let's go back to the secondary feature table and watch some of the action here. Platinum Pass winner Michael Robionek's in a hand. Ace King against Queen 9. It's Platinum Pass v Platinum Pass.
I think it's pretty ill-advised to go for a continuation bet on this type of board texture against a big blind defend with Ace King, no backdoor flush draw.
200,000. Maybe he's now just going to trade on his image, Maria. He knows that everyone thinks he's a giant nit, so if he's betting, he must have it, right?
Nope.
Akabe with a double gutter. Kind of would have preferred to see him raise, pretty much go with this with just 765K back, just essentially pot size.
When he checks a second time.
I was going to say the guy that folds aces on the bubble seems like a bet once and give up kind of person, but... Ah.
6, 7, 8, 9. Hey! That's your get out of jail card, Michael.
I'm going to get my emotes ready. But you could be emoting along with us if we manage to have someone get 3 outed or worse. And we gift 100 free subs into the PokerStars TV Twitch channel. Kyle checks. Robionek with a chance for a free showdown.
There we go. They're both playing the board. This is going to be a chop pot. And you know what they say? Everyone loves a chop pot. Meanwhile, as we were watching the action at the secondary feature table, there was an all-in at the main feature table. Felipe Oliveira got it in with ace-3 against ace-queen, and ace-queen held, which means Oliveira is out, and we are down to 28 players.
When's the next money jump?
Now. So the next player out will get 105 grand. And then whoever goes out in 27th is going to be guaranteed an additional payout of, wait for it,
It's going to be a while. It's so slow.
I busted in like 60th for
An additional payout of
21,000, because 126k is what 24th through 27th receive.
We're waiting for the prizes to scroll by, and they go very slowly.
I just busted just after the beach party finished, like the pool party. So that's like
the needle.
Like, yeah, the needle.
Yeah, they put so much money up on top. It's like it's a bit weird how they do it. It's like nothing left for except the top.
Free roll details on the screen once again. Dream Ticket is the name of today's free roll, and the password is professional, lowercase. Got Queen 3 against Queen 10 here, and Shikirchi has outflopped O'Neill. The rotation of the domination has taken place. Shikirchi wins this one on the flop. So Talal hovering around the 30 big blind mark. Jake Schwartz has increased his chip lead at this table, playing 4.3 million. Jack O'Neill on screen right now has 2 million, around 35 big blinds. Griffin Benja still the low man at the table with 15 bigs. And we are balancing tables, which means Michael Robionek, who was on the secondary feature table, is being moved to the main feature table.
Jake the Snake.
For people asking where the free roll is, PokerStars. You need to be a real money PokerStars customer. I appreciate that we've got a lot of people watching from the USA. Sorry, you can't play for real money on Stars. But if you are in a part of the world that offers real money gaming, you should be able to fire up the PokerStars client, search the tourney lobby for Dream Ticket, that's the name of the free roll, and then you can register using that password. Bear in mind that outside of territories that don't offer real money gaming, we also can't offer the free roll in the Czech Republic, Italy, New Jersey, Portugal, or Russia.
Sorry, America. Take it up with Parliament.
Check deuce deuce on the flop. An open from Schwartz on the button. Griffin Benja defending his big blinds. Schwartz continues. Benja folds.
Thank you.
So, yep, details on the free roll one last time, because you've only got 5 minutes left to register. 2:20 Eastern, 8:20 p.m. Central European Time is when it starts. Let's just put the details on the screen one last time. Dream Ticket is the name of the free roll. The password, professional, lowercase.
Jordan on Twitter, who says, how do I join the free roll? #amateur. You got to download the PokerStars client. If you don't have it already, you got to have an account set up already. Maybe it'd be too late for you today. There are still many more free rolls.
We're doing one every single day.
So if you don't get in today, don't worry about it. Then you got to do a search. There's a little search window, and you search for the name of the tournament that we just gave you right there. You type it in, make sure all the other filters are off, and it should pop right up. Use that password, and you're in.
Or at this rate, they could just search Adam Levy's screen name online and just enter all the exactly every tournament he's in. Reg that.
Into the action, my friend.
Yeah, the mini PSPC resumes in just under an hour's time. Playing down to the final table today.
So fair. I changed table, I think 9 times this today, and every time I had to fade the big blind immediately. No, I'm joking.
Tough to change tables 9 times today.
That would be hard.
Yeah, you'd have to do it every table twice.
Yeah.
So this is Robbie Onek's third table draw of the day. Deep State Control says, why do you let Daniel Negreanu play on PokerStars when he seems to be a Nevada resident? While he is in the city of Las Vegas, Daniel does not play on PokerStars. When there's a major series like Scoop or W Coop that Daniel wants to play, he will go to Canada.
Like when you're 19 and you go to Canada to drink.
Or in the 70s when you didn't want to go to Vietnam.
Oh, man. If you didn't have a doctor that would say you had bone spurs, yes, you'd have to go to Canada.
Luckily, I went to school in San Diego, so I just went to Tijuana when I was 18.
Tijuana.
So Perot has opened here with Ace King. Schwartz has flatted with Jacks.
O'Neill, that would look like a 3-bet.
Looks squeezy. Re-raising with the Ace Queen.
And he actually has been fairly quiet, even though he started the day as the table chip leader. And so I think people do give his 3-bets a good amount of respect, but Ace King obviously just a really great hand. Schwartz up.
So this has been folded to Marc Perot in the small blind. King Queen. Completes, and Talal Shakurchi checks his option with Ace-6.
And I think with the weak aces, I do like the check back option better than raising against the small blind limp. I think your raises should be a bit more linear from the big blind.
Scott. Not other Scott. Stewart. Scott Stewart.
Your boy Stu.
How much? 4.4.
Perot decides not to bet his gut shot on the turn, but gets there on the river. I think considering this hand has gone checked all the way to the river, you just have to lead here. Hope your opponent has the smallest of pieces that might pay you off, because I don't think that the Jack of Clubs is a card that you could get Shakurchi to bet at, considering the turn was checked. I think if Shakurchi had something like an 8 in his hand, he might just bet that type of open-ended equity on the turn in position.
Just being polite.
I'm a huge Shakurchi fan, by the way.
Same.
He loves the game. He's playing like all the tournaments online.
Hard to win much more with that.
Yeah. He even plays smaller tournaments online that I would be surprised to see him in.
Whatever.
Yeah, you would have got a call. So I guess, yeah,
Joram Jonker, or Joram Jonker, I'm not sure. Says in the Netherlands, Knoppers is pronounced with a hard K.
So it's Knoppers.
Knoppers is even more fun to say.
Fantastic.
I wanted to say Knoppers from the beginning.
Well, I hope he's in a lot of hands then.
Is the K in Knoppers really silent, though? Asks Erin.
Nope.
No one's really going to get that joke. But I liked it.
Our friend Robbie Onek has queens in the hijack. And we talked about the difference in experience of the various Platinum Pass winners, ranging from the extreme at one end, Nikita Boltikovsky, high roller regular, to the other end of the spectrum where we have a player like Michael Robionek, has never played anything other than free rolls online, has never made a real money deposit. Michael actually came running into the poker room 2 hours before the start of play yesterday, looking for a member of the tournament staff because he just discovered that they were going to introduce the shot clock after the bubble burst, and he had no idea how that worked, how it would impact his play, wanted to go through all the rules.
That's adorable.
No, less.
I wouldn't know.
1-2 behind.
Yeah, good to see someone taking a tournament where it's 5.1 million for first seriously.
Okay. Water casualties.
Perot flats on the button. Round to Jake Schwartz in the big blind.
You're not
It's
telling
all
you.
over the place.
That's
You know
like
that.
1.2 behind.
1.2 behind. Thank you.
Pocket threes.
It's my best guess.
I like it. I trust you.
Here we go, guys. Maybe we'll have some Twitch subs to give away by the end of this hand.
Michael.
You too?
But you don't want to root against the Platinum Pass winner, do you?
No, but, you know, it could come down to Perot and Schwartz. Who knows?
So 5, 6, 7, 2 clubs. An under pair and a gut shot for Schwartz. Robionek has more than half the equity three ways with his over pair. Perot has a gut shot of his own. Action has been checked to the pre-flop aggressor. There's 570,000 in the middle. Robionek has 1.2 million behind.
The bet is 300,000.
Bet of 300k.
And here's where even when you have an overpair, you really wouldn't mind a couple of quick folds, because if you get called, you probably have a ton of equity against your hand. If you get raised, you probably have 2 pairs and sets on this type of board, potentially straights coming from the big blind a little more so than from Perot's flatting range, but
Nice hand.
Wish I didn't fold. I folded King 6 of clubs.
King 6 of clubs? Oh,
Yeah.
you fold. Yeah.
I think you probably still have maybe.
No.
No. Not even.
How can you be ahead of that?
Well, for now. He could.
Queens does beat King 6 of clubs on that flop, if people were wondering, but
He doesn't have like Ace 8 of clubs.
Sure. Sorry.
I think Robionek just knows that people now know that he
It's obviously
was considering folding aces on the bubble, and now he's trying to change that image of him. Like, no, I couldn't beat King 6 of clubs on that flop. Betting into 2 other players.
Against me.
With what you
on
want?
the table, I won something with you together. A voucher?
Yeah, a voucher.
There you are.
What are they talking about?
How many massage do you got?
I have one more today.
Okay, and how many is that in total?
We got one for being on the feature table.
Yeah.
Or we
What
won
is
it.
that in total?
3.
Oh, how much do you got?
One by you, one yesterday, and one today. 3 massage.
They're comparing how many massage vouchers they've won.
I got only 2 cards.
2 tickets I have.
This guy's all about the value.
I need 2 cards.
Yeah.
We should introduce him to Alan Kessler.
Yeah.
Who did the massage? Was it the prince?
Ah.
Knopper's raising Queen Jack.
I remember that from yesterday. Okay, now I remember. Sorry, yesterday was a long day.
Oh, for me also.
How much did you start the hand with, if you don't mind me asking?
900.
900, thank you.
Did you get good sleep tonight, yesterday?
No, I didn't sleep.
No?
I had a swim on the beach at 4 in the morning to get the tide, something.
What is it, 1:30?
I think good sleep is overestimated. When you get a poker tournament like this.
Yeah, it's hard for sure.
I don't get really tired here.
Andy Gibbons says, I love the fact that Robbie Onek is using his actual platinum pass as his card protector. So round to Jack O'Neill in the big blind. And he's folded.
Thought you were going to do it.
Just 6.5 minutes left until the first break of the day.
Feature table. It's for all the tables. You're not special, Griffin.
Sorry?
The massage was not just for this table.
What do you mean? Oh, it's for every table?
Yeah. Did you use it yet? Ah, you cannot use it here, right?
No, I can't use it here.
Griffin's like, don't talk to me.
Yeah, the last time we saw him smile was after he lost queens against Ace Jack.
Griffin's not in the mood. He's in the big blind, right? Yeah.
Got 11 bigs behind.
Somebody asked a question a moment ago. Sometimes these questions we skip over them because they're stuff that are very obvious to us, and I like to answer them sometimes. Asked if we deal with 2 decks.
That's 45.
If there's like a deck being shuffled. Nope, 1 deck. Dealer shuffles it after every hand. The dealers on our tours are fantastic. They do it very quickly, very efficiently, very few mistakes. Great personalities, sweet smelling breath. Sometimes interesting personalities. All around a good crew. It's an interesting question from Chris Clark. If a guy in the blinds is facing a raise and he pulls his blind in, normally people do this with the intent to raise, but then only puts the chips back out to make a call, is he compelled to raise? Nothing verbal has been said.
I don't see why that would become a raise somehow.
I don't either, but I've never seen anyone do it.
I guess you could do it in an attempt to provoke some kind of reaction from your opponent.
It's a little angly, yeah. It's interesting that I've never seen anyone do it. Griffin defending his big blind. This hand, 8-7.
Flop. It's King, King, 4.
Not a particularly good flop for either player.
Action check to Perot.
Guess the 3s can't hate it until another 4 peels off.
Yeah, and you know with Benjer's stack size that he has behind, he's not going to continue with you know, a lot of weak floats just because his stack size doesn't really allow for it on future streets. So because of that, it's a pretty easy bet just to fold out a ton of hands that obviously will have 2 overcards.
Andrew Conklin wants to know, Maria, what was your first poker tournament you ever won? He included me in the question too, but I'll let you know when it happens.
I mean, I won a tournament online on Stars, I believe, pretty early on in my career, but a live one didn't come for a few years into me playing professionally and on the tournament circuit regularly. I did win the first home game tournament I ever played at, which obviously made me think I was a brilliant poker player, which is why I'm sitting here today, because
2.5,
I just got lucky enough to
No, less. 2.3 maybe.
Whoever
not
won,
have the rude awakening.
whoever won that night was going to end up attempting to be a professional poker player.
100%. Some of them that didn't win still attempted.
So Shakurchi has opened with Ace-King. Round to the blinds. Griffin folds the small. Michael Robionek in the big. 7-4 off. And he folds. Quick update from the PokerStars blog. The guy's doing updates from all the tables.
Wow.
Jason Kuntz has doubled his stack to 5.3 million, so he is currently second in chips behind Farid Jatin, who's got between 5.5 and 6 million right now.
2 flush draws as well.
Yeah.
Those chips have come at the expense of Yanis Leparis.
2 chances at a flush.
Heart. I'd have taken heart against that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What do you have, like, sort of, I don't know, King, Queen of Hearts?
No, I would never fold King, Queen of Hearts.
I don't know. I don't know what you fold.
No,
9, 10?
I just thought about fucking around. Didn't.
I think I had the King of Hearts last hand.
Maybe.
To the next level.
Just Hollywooding.
What?
You're just Hollywooding.
No, I mean, I was thinking.
Okay, good.
Get her, Ray. Perone, Shakurchi, Schwartz, all
I wanted
fold.
to get goofy and just decided not to.
Stay in line.
Stay in line.
Neal.
There you go.
5 high. Out of here. Griffin
I think
folds
that
the
was
button.
going right up my nose.
Yeah.
If I threw it.
Robionic.
Yep.
10-6.
There's only one way that was going if you 3-bet.
Next hand. Next. I know you play this. 10-6. You're not just going to fold this.
Oh, I would limp. I think, what does the big blind have? Knoppers, or no? Who's in the big blind? Knoppers? Knoppers. Okay. Knoppers with 15 big blinds effective. Yeah, I'd limp 10-6 offsuit from the small blind.
How about raising like a million? 150,000.
So we have just ticked into the break. This will be the last hand of the level.
Well, Knoppers is going to shove this. He should. Blind versus blind, 15 big blinds.
And there we go.
All in to call.
This would be an amazing call.
It's going to be an amazing tank fold.
So how much do you...
Actually, not quite all in to call. 885k, which is most of Knoppers' chips, but Robionek's actually got him covered. Not that it's relevant, because with 10-6, he is folding to this 3-bet.
It's not like it's the break or anything.
You got to make it look good, right? You don't want everyone to know you're just raising with junk. They'll find out in 30 minutes.
Yeah, right. Which?
I think we need a break.
There we go. I agree.
So we are going to go on break with 28 players remaining in the PSPC, 10 eliminations so far. There'll be a redraw when we get to 24. We will continue playing today until we are down to the final table. These are the chips of the players on our main feature table right now. Jake Schwartz has a 52 big blind stack, and this is at the next blind level, 40-80, and that really puts a dent into Griffin's stack. He's the low man at the table with just 7 big blinds. We've got quite a few players with fewer than 20 bigs, including Platinum Pass winner Michael Robionek. The secondary feature table, Scott Balmstein was the start of day chip leader. He does not hold that honor anymore, but he's still got a decent sized stack. 3.6 million. No one here has 50 bigs though. And Adrian Akave and Marvin Rettenmeyer are both pretty short. One could say they're in the danger zone.
Danger zone!
Oh, we missed you yesterday, Joe. So, play's going to resume in around 19 minutes time. So we continue to play down to the final table. Right now we're going to hear from Evan Mathis, the NFL star who we lost during the first session of play. Let's hear about his time playing here in the Bahamas.
I played some pretty high stakes, both tournaments and cash games. As far as a live event, I think the biggest I've played would be the World Series of Poker, 10,000 buy-in. So this is probably, the biggest live tournament I've played. Having it at Atlantis, this place is amazing and beautiful, and you come sit in a room for 9 or 10 hours a day and play cards. A football game might be 3 or 4 hours and you're fully focused the whole time. Out here, these tournament days are 8, 9, 10 hours long, and that can take a toll on you mentally. And you have to do everything you can to stay focused. I'm just calm, just playing each hand, one hand at a time. I'm not getting overexcited for wins. I'm not moping about losses. I'm just focused on one hand, try to make the right decision each time.
Canet picks up kings under the gun +1, raises to 1,300. And pocket queens for Paul Pierce, who is all in for his last 12 big blinds.
What a cooler.
Now we're gonna see who's the real MVP.
He is not going to be loving it when the cards go on their backs. Benelli with 9s.
European dance craze.
No!
Somebody
Very likely to be Mustafa Canet doing the happy dance after this song. And dance.
So Benelli has re-raised a 4-bet to 13,600. Action back on Mustafa.
Oh man, hold on. I gotta stand up for this one. And get a stretch in. MVP.
Oh, we can't talk yet. Still in the hands.
Not looking good for me.
Triple up.
Not looking good for me.
Got a 5-bet yet from Canet?
Not looking good for me.
Yeah. Don't say anything because they don't let them know what you got.
Oh, so ATA starts?
Oh, okay. Just a call?
Yep. So Paul Pierce all in. Potential action on the side between Benelli and Canet. Flop is Queen 10-5. Great flop for Pierce. Oh yeah. Don't betray the strength of your hand.
Yeah. Little less
Give me
reaction
what I need.
to that flop.
There's still action in progress.
Hey.
I know that girl on the rail, and no amount of dancing is
One
gonna.
more safe card. I need one more safe card.
Don't say anything.
Make that happen. I guess I should try that dance next time I get it all in.
So Kenneth has bet 11,000 on the turn.
I got a pair.
Benelli folds.
No good?
No good.
I'm good if you're that triple, bro. I'm good if you
No
triple.
good.
I don't give a shit. If you triple up, you're good, bro.
MVP.
Let's go.
It's not over yet.
Bro.
Not yet.
Not yet. Not yet. No king. No king. No king.
King, baby!
I'm gonna do a backflip off the stage if it's no king. I ain't done a backflip since I was like.
Just give him the pot. It's fine. It's fine. Where's my king? What time? Summer is coming.
The river card is not a king. Triple up for Paul Pierce.
Paulino! Andiamo!
Where's the backflip?
Oh man, here I go. I'm back. I'm back, baby. I'm back, baby.
He is back.
Woo! Needed that.
Nicely done.
Paul
Stay
Pierce
patient. I have 7,000 in my hand.
with the half-court buzzer beater.
I have to tell you the truth.
Uh-oh.
Oh, boy.
King high flop. He should have heeded Mustafa Kanat's advice. Slow down. Take it easy.
Oh, goodness. I mean, we've seen Paul Pierce get pretty stubborn with nothing. What's he going to do with top pair?
Well, top. Scott Shupak continues. He's loving life. Got a strong hand. 87% equity. His luggage has arrived. 2,600 into 3,900.
10,000.
10,000.
What?
Raise to 10,000.
That's half his remaining chips.
Well, I think this break's going to be longer than 30 minutes for Paul Pierce. I think that might actually just be a nervous tick.
Mullen.
Shupak shoves.
Whoops.
Now, he can fold and leave himself 20 big blinds. Or he can call, which is exactly what he does. And Paul Pierce is drawing thin.
You got me.
The truth hurts.
Just you and me here.
Damn. I need a 6.
They're going to be so pissed at me if I knock you out and they were all gone.
Damn.
Oh, baby. On the turn.
Don't
You can't handle the truth.
And Paul Pierce just has to dodge an ace on the river. And he survives again. Coming from behind a second time, potentially.
It's all about instincts.
Barry Greenstein will not be welcomed by the NBA star. No ace.
Woo! Nice hand.
Paul Pierce doubles up on the last hand of the level.
Here, baby.
Brutal.
I ain't going nowhere. I ain't going nowhere.
The truth does hurt.
That's a good double up before the break right there.
You
That's
said
how you
it.
double up before the break at the buzzer. They call me clutch. They call me clutch. I'm clutch for a reason. Woo!
I think the dealer did most of the work there, but
double up. That's the.
Paul Pierce is all in. Pedoti open. Can it 3-bet with jacks? Pierce is shoved with the ace queen. And Can it is not going to fold.
Go for it, bro. Good luck.
Here we go. We are off to the races.
like a Bahama Mama
coin flip, 50-50
versus a Pina Colada. One of these two
I feel
hands
better than you about it, so maybe I win.
Slight mathematical advantage.
Maybe I send the truth home. Maybe it's time for the MVP to take over. After one day, you had a good run, bro. You had a good run. You had a good run, bro. It was a pleasure to play with you.
I had a good run.
It was so fun to play with you. I'm still here. So far, I'm ahead, okay?
I'm still here.
I know. I'm not sending you away.
I'm not standing up because I'm not going
Bro, you can stay here for 3 days. You stand up already. I'm not calling any cards.
Because I'm sitting down.
You're such a legend. It was a pleasure to play with you. For real.
Are you leaving?
Huh? No. Just, I want to be polite, you know. Like, no, I'm not leaving. So.
Oh, I thought you were leaving.
You might leaving, but you can stay. You can stay. You're a buddy. You can stay watch me.
All right, I want him to put a Jack King 10.
No.
Jack King 10.
Ace is coming anyways.
Jack is coming. Oh, baby.
Damn.
Oh, there is no diamond there.
Man.
Diamonds for the sweat so we can shop. Diamond. Give me a diamond.
God damn.
Diamond, bro. We want a diamond so we can chop. Because come diamond, we chop.
I know.
Diamond.
Oh, diamond though.
Oh, that is good for me. Wow, we lose Paul Pierce. I send him home. A dream come true. Who's the truth now? Who's the truth now? Bam!
Look at 4 diamonds.
This is my game. I come to my court. Bam!
Good job, fellas.
Man, you gotta be awfully likable to bust the guy and give him the high five.
You're a legend. You are.
Queen comes too. Fucking set of jacks.
This Mustafa guy.
This fucking Mustafa guy. Here, man, take your phone. Get off my charger.
Bro, wait.
Get off my charger and fucking won, dog.
Bro, I was ahead.
To be fair, truth hasn't mattered for a long time. It was nice to see him reappear finally.
You're sad now? Paul.
A month after Prague, he's done it again. Canada so wins back-to-back main events. And this time, he gets a platinum pass, so we will see him in the Bahamas.
Je suis très heureux. C'est un rêve éveillé que je vis. Donc je marche sur l'eau, je suis dans les airs. C'est magnifique. J'en perds mes mots. J'ai pas grandi dans des conditions très faciles. Mon esprit compétiteur plus mon endroit social où j'ai grandi, ce mix de là a fait ce que je suis. J'ai su très jeune que si je voulais quelque chose, qu'il faudrait aller le chercher parce qu'on me donnerait rien du tout. Basketball, j'ai commencé le basket très très jeune. J'étais très passionné parce que je passais mes journées au basket. Déjà d'une, j'avais des bonnes dispositions, j'étais grand, je maniais la balle très très bien et j'ai joué depuis l'âge de 5 ans. J'ai eu une blessure en match, j'ai arrêté 6 mois, j'étais moins rapide qu'avant et peut-être que j'avais plus de mal qu'avant à exécuter certaines choses. Peut-être pour ça que j'ai eu moins le courage de faire des sacrifices, on revient à ça. Voilà le résultat, je ne serai pas basketteur professionnel. C'était à l'époque où je mordais la vie à plein de dents. Je sortais en discothèque, je partais en boîte. C'était l'époque où j'étais célibataire. C'était une époque où j'étais un peu foufou. J'ai eu un accident de voiture. Je rentrais de discothèque et je me suis endormi au volant et j'ai fait des tonneaux. J'ai eu beaucoup de chance. Ça fait que j'ai eu une brûlure au 3e degré. J'aurais pu avoir beaucoup plus ça aurait pu être beaucoup plus grave. Et c'est pour ça que je la couvre par rapport au soleil. L'impact de cet accident-là, c'est déjà qui m'a fait réfléchir, parce que c'est la première fois que j'ai eu un accident aussi grave, que j'ai failli mourir. Forcément, ça a été des leçons. J'étais un peu plus foufou avant, je suis un peu plus mesuré. Depuis que je suis père de famille, ça a complètement... Je pense que c'est ça qui a changé ma vie plus que l'accident. Donc je pense que c'est ça qui fait que je suis l'homme que je suis aujourd'hui. Mon fils qui aime bien quand je suis en tape TV de me regarder, et il est à fond dedans et il dit « Ouais, c'est mon papa à moi ». Le poker, il est rentré, comme un peu tout le monde, je veux dire, entre amis. Les premières parties, c'est que le week-end, j'avais des amis qui organisaient des petits tournois à 10 €. Au début, j'étais là en train de me demander « Oui, je gagne là avec 2 paires, oui, avec full ». C'était ça, c'était il y a 6 ans, 6-7 ans. Et j'ai commencé comme ça, petit à petit. Ensuite, j'ai été dans les cercles parisiens. J'ai commencé à jouer en cash game, et le cash game, c'est quelque chose qui me va moins bien, puisqu'il n'y a pas de... Je vois pas de but, en fait. Je suis plus un compétiteur, les tournois me ressemblent plus. Quand je rentre dans un tournoi, le but, c'est de gagner. C'est extraordinaire. Ça a changé beaucoup de choses, parce que les gens, maintenant, ils me demandent des conseils. Il y en a qui me demandent même de faire des photos. À moi, Khalidou. Je vois que j'ai évolué et c'est pas mal. C'est pas mal et on peut mieux faire encore. Ce tournoi-là, il va être extraordinaire. Déjà, il est unique. En général, les tournois à 25K, c'est le fil des très relevés. Là, ça va être un tournoi où il y a des qualifiés. Ça va être un tournoi, on va dire, ouvert. Je pense que ce tournoi-là, c'est le tournoi d'une vie, hein. C'est comme le main event. Parce que c'est un des tournois que si tu le gagnes, ça te change ta vie. Donc forcément...
I mean, how else can I even play in this game? It's like I just get cheated. I'm hand after hand after hand.
It's a 7-bet jam!
You're the greatest, buddy. Hold on, let me get your signature.
It's a queen! And it's a double KO! It's a bluff!
See if this is...
It's a flip! It's a flip! Come on! Ship it to mama! It's a royal flush from McAllister! And it's over!
I have no words, James. No words.
Is this real life?
Welcome back to the Bahamas and the PokerStars Players No Limit Hold'em Championship. This is day 4. It's the penultimate day of the PSPC, the day that we play down to the final table. We return from the first break of the day with 28 players. We started with 38, so 10 down, 20 more to go until we reach that final table. There will be a redraw when we get to 24. And we have got plenty of short stacks in the field. In fact, the average stack right now is still pretty shallow. Joe, the secondary feature table, we've got 4 players. The vast majority of this table have fewer than 20 big blinds each.
4 in the danger zone. Danger zone.
In fact, the chip leader only has 45 big blinds now that we've gone to 40-80 with an 80k big blind ante. And on the main stage, we've got a super short stack. In the extreme danger zone is Griffin Benja, because he only has a 7 big blind stack. We've also got short stacks in Luigi Canoppers with 14 bigs, Jack O'Neill with 18 bigs, Michael Raboniak with 19 bigs. And the chip leader here is Jake Schwartz with a 52 big blind stack. The player we're watching, the hero of the hour, is Michael Raboniak. He's one of the last remaining Platinum Pass winners. He's a guy who has never made a real money deposit online. He's only ever played free rolls online. He entered a social media competition that we ran on the PokerStars Twitter account back in the autumn, the Human Lie Detector competition, earned his seat in a free roll, won his Platinum Pass, spent the money we gave him to get here to the Bahamas, therefore had to borrow money to get here to the Bahamas, was so determined to min cash, he almost folded aces on the bubble yesterday. Now he is guaranteed at least $105,000. By the way, I'm James Hartigan, he's Joe Stapleton.
Hello, my babies.
And also in the house, Lex Veldhouse.
How you guys doing?
Alexander, welcome.
Thank you. Nice performance yesterday, yes, sir.
Thank you, Lex. I appreciate your support.
No, but it was honestly, it's you know, if I didn't mean it, I wouldn't say it 5 times.
I know.
We laughed our asses off yesterday.
That theater was very difficult. First of all, I could see nothing from the stage, like not a single face. And I could hear, it was difficult to actually get the laughs back.
Oh, really?
So although I'm used to like getting little laughs up until the bigger ones, I couldn't hear the little ones. So there was times I thought I was dying up there.
Oh, really? No,
Yeah.
man. It was like there was like laughter every moment.
Yeah, no, I got off stage and I was like, that wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. And everyone was
it was
like,
good.
yeah, I'm getting a different story now, which is
yeah.
But and I also was a little bit worried about Norm translating to like a worldwide audience, and I think he went over real well too.
Yeah, no, for sure. It was a kind of sometimes you see a little bit of a disparity between NA humor and EU, but I mean he's pretty cynical too. You know, he's pretty cynical, pretty rough. He can be very dry.
Yeah.
So it's good.
It was just such a special experience for me. He is one of my biggest. If you watch enough of Norm's stuff and then you listen to me, you can hear the influence that he's had on my comedy and my cadence and the way I talk. Yeah, he's just an absolute legend. So to be able to do a show with him was, I don't want to say dream come true because that sounds so
No, I know what you mean.
goofy, but it was a huge highlight.
Yeah, but it's not a milestone.
Who made Windows in studio mode.
Absolutely.
First, we'll set up your camera. So